All right, everyone, it's Simply Bitcoin. You know what we do. We break down the news from Twitter, the Daily Fail, meme review, software releases, websites by plebes. All right, drop us a like and subscribe. Here we go to the numbers. Block height of 668,811. Current Bitcoin price 35,650. Chain rewrite days 607. Total lightning capacity 1,062.54 BTC Bitcoin versus gold. Market cap 5.53%. And a new addition, figured we'd add sats per dollar, 2,805 sats. So essentially what we should see is that number drop and drop and drop. That's what we're looking for. And it's actually, I want to give a shout out though to, it was actually a listener that suggested that we start to add some other, they actually liked the dashboard and wanted us to add some other metrics. So this is one of the metrics that we've added. And if you want to see us include other metrics, let us know. We don't mind.
Awesome. I love that, man. I love that. That's
I just
amazing.
don't remember who it was, so I apologize. I'm sorry. I suck.
But you know who it is. But man, an amazing addition. Awesome idea. Our audience is just amazing. I love the plebs. Anyways, Phil, did you see the Bitcoin price? It kind of sneaked up a little bit. It's been crawling up 35.6. That's crazy.
A little bit sneaky.
A little bit sneaky. It's crazy that we're consolidating at these levels and we're bored, right? That's a good thing. Phil, it's time for
the Daily Fail. All right, so I love Dan Darkpill, and of course he's not our fail. You know, awesome Bitcoiner. So he goes at Hodl is not quote being paid to lie about it as an internet troll. This is defamation. And who is that from? None other than our buddy, the scammer, co-scammer actually to CSW, Calvin Iyer. Hey, just amazing the amount of money these guys would rather pay to Craig than to just admit they know he is Satoshi and are being paid to lie about it as internet trolls. Look, you know, if you're actually following this, which I always mention it, follow at My Legacy Kit if you want to follow the breakdown of this trial and what's going on with you know, with Craig and Calvin and all of this news. And look, you know, that it's a I've said this 1,000 times. It's a shit fork of a shit fork that they pretend is Bitcoin, and then they create psychotic narratives that try to fit their story, and it makes absolutely no sense. You know, like he's calling Hodl a troll. I can guarantee you that Hodl is not a troll. It's just absolutely disgusting, and it is defamation. I mean, really, you know, they have absolutely made Hodlnot's life, or attempted to make his life, a living hell, all because they are absolute scammers, and they can't have their scam unravel just yet. That's my take, anyways.
Absolutely, man. They're just taking advantage. Exactly what you said, Phil. They're taking advantage of these terrible laws to go after someone for calling out their BS, their bullshit, right? And it's absolutely infuriating. And it's crazy how much they're willing to lie in order to kind of get their message across. And just a friendly reminder to everybody, Craig Wright's a fraud. He's not Satoshi, right? It's very obvious.
You know that they dropped their case against Adam Back.
I wonder why. Because Adam Back lives in the U.S. It's very hard to get a libel case going off the ground in the U.S. because of the First Amendment, number one. And number two, Adam Back has a hell of a war chest, bro. You're not gonna win that fight. You know, you're gonna just bleed dry. Sorry to interrupt you, Phil. What were you saying?
Oh no, not at all. I'm just saying it's, you know, at every turn they've been getting screwed. At every turn, the law that CSW cheerleads so much never is in his favor because he is missing one crucial thing: evidence.
Exactly.
All he has are stories, made up stories that are constantly being debunked. It's actually psychotic and scary. And what's really scary is that a whole bunch of bag holders are sitting there waiting and hoping that they're going to be justified on this shit coin.
Yep.
Anyways,
It's like a cult worship, and you're absolutely right, man. When he had that trial in Fort Lauderdale, that court case in Fort Lauderdale, he presented all these addresses, and then the Bitcoin OGs cryptographically signed for them, right? Which would prove that Craig Wright doesn't actually own those addresses, and he was never able to, right? It's just so much BS on his part. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review.
All right, everybody. Today's meme, the first one, we apologize for not doing the meme review yesterday. We had some technical difficulties, so unfortunately we had to cut it out, but we're going to do the meme review today. The first meme is brought to us by @aperfect_system. Let's check it out. Dad, our Bitcoin account is worth 1 million now. Can we get a place to live instead of at this park bench? No, son. You're not correct. Amazing meme. Super funny, made me laugh. It got the message across, easy to understand. Phil, I'm going to give that a perfect 10, baby. What about you?
Okay, I guess I'm not as nice. I'm going with 8.5, but still great meme. Very happy. Very funny.
It was.
I'll tell you kind of why it loses points, right? So it's kind of like a joke, right? That like, you never sell any Bitcoin or anything like that. And again, of course, right? You're in this for the long run. You're going to hodl. I think that like, because memes carry so much weight and because they're so easy to understand and because they can spread so quickly, it like could spread the wrong message. It's like, I mean, look, you're not going to starve and die just to hang on to Bitcoin. I mean, at least get some ramen noodles.
Dude,
at the very least.
I live under a bridge, bro. I'm not selling anything. But yeah, I get you. It could be a little responsible. But if you use common sense, it's absolutely hilarious. And let's move on to.
It's good.
Let's move on to the next meme. Is brought to us by @ChainForceHodl. Awesome account. And my mom talking to her friend on the phone. Me waiting to show her the full node I built all by myself. Okay, so I just want to replace the mom figure there and replace it with my girlfriend because I for sure have done it. And she just looks at me like, yeah, I don't really care. So, man, made me laugh. Amazing messaging. It was a little insider-ish, so I'm going to give that an 8.5. What about you, Phil?
All right. I'm going with a 9 on this one.
Why do you give it a 9?
So it's because it's I know that feeling exactly, minus the mom part, but like I've been that person standing there, next to my wife and waiting to show her like, my amazing wall of nodes, which I've redone the wiring for or something. So what happens when you're a nerd? What do you want?
They don't care. My girlfriend
don't
care less.
Who cares?
And we're so proud of it. We're like, look at my node. I built it. It was hard. And they're like,
I can show you what I have going right now with the CryptoCloaks Triton case.
Oh my God. Shout out CryptoCloaks. Awesome. 3D printed cases. Amazing. CryptoCloaks is a homie and a sponsor. Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by CryptoCloaks.
All right, everybody. The news for today. Again, we always start it. We're going to start with the bullet points. Check it out from Documenting Bitcoin, one of the best Twitter accounts. Exactly what it says. Documenting Bitcoin. You should go follow him. The message of Elon Musk was just embedded into the Bitcoin blockchain. Will remain there to the end of time, of course. Right. This is what we're talking about. Bitcoin being uncensorable. This is absolutely crazy. We showed you a previous one on Simply Bitcoin about, freedom for Taiwan, right? It's always going to remain there. Just a big middle finger to the Chinese Communist Party. And here it's, on Clubhouse, which we reported yesterday on Simply Bitcoin. Smash that like button. And I am a supporter of Bitcoin, Elon Musk. That is what Elon Musk said yesterday on Clubhouse. Check out yesterday's episode if you want to hear the recording. And more propaganda from the mainstream media. Yes, Bitcoin could be the new GameStop. These guys are absolutely insane. They're completely out of touch. And let me tell you why, Phil. On the other side, it looks like giant corporations are buying Bitcoin, and Michael Saylor is pitching it to them. He's throwing an event, right? I have never seen as many CEOs sign up to attend one of our events. Of course, he is talking about the MicroStrategy event to kind of convince corporations or Bitcoin or companies to buy Bitcoin and hold it in reserves. He's throwing an event tomorrow on February 3rd, and he's going through everything. 12 p.m. Bitcoin macro strategy, which I'm sure he's going to explain. Look, he's presenting it himself. The CEO of Stone Ridge, which I'm sure is it's another hedge fund. And look, it looks like the New York Attorney General's office is in there as well. That's pretty crazy. Talking about the macro strategy of Bitcoin. I might be wrong here. I'll pop up a correction if I am. The Bitcoin corporate strategy, the Bitcoin corporate playbook, the Bitcoin legal considerations. Man, he obviously, okay, we're neutral here. We're simply Bitcoin. Of course, we have a Bitcoin bias, but Michael Saylor's doing this to pump his own bags. Okay, let's be clear. Okay, he's pumping his own bags. But on the plus side, he is pitching this to corporations. And if you trust his tweet, it looks like he has a lot of interest, according to his tweet. He hinted that Elon Musk could have been there. Elon Musk definitely signaled yesterday that he definitely had, he agreed with Bitcoin. He supported Bitcoin. And at least Michael Saylor is doing Satoshi's work, and he's preaching the gospel, the Satoshi gospel, the Bitcoin gospel to all these corporations. And it's a very well thought out event. Phil, what are your thoughts on this Michael Saylor play?
Before we dive into Michael Saylor, CNBC, really insightful work. Bitcoin, might be the next GameStop. Again, it's like you said, it's just absolute travesty. I mean, come on. Could be the new GameStop. Sure, why not? Something that started at completely zero, that was worth nothing, that people did as an experiment, that all of a sudden grew and grew because, it has all the features that people want in a store of value and the transfer of value and the base layer and all that good stuff. But no, I'm sure it's exactly like GameStop. Right? I'm sure it's just like a set of shares that are being short squeezed by a bunch of greedy hedge funds. Anyways, all right, Michael Saylor stuff. Look, I'm just excited to see what I'm just excited to see what comes of it. All these people, he's saying that he's never had so many people sign up to an event. I mean, don't get me wrong, but, I've been to a lot of these corporate events, and not for MicroStrategy, but, for the company I work for, and corporate events suck. Nobody really wants to attend them. People have to attend them. So, hey, the fact that people want to attend it, that's huge. I'm excited to see who attends it and what they do with the information coming out of it.
Absolutely. It's very exciting, very exciting. Speaking of excitement, today we're just filled with bullish news. Miami mayor leads the charge to bring Bitcoin to America's largest cities. I'm going to read the bullet points. Miami is considered giving city employees the opportunity to get their salaries paid in Bitcoin. Local fees and taxes could be paid in Bitcoin, and some other F that. I'm not even going to read that. And what they really mean is paid in Bitcoin. And finally, the city's treasurer might place some of its investment capital into Bitcoin, which would be first for major cities in the United States. This is absolutely massive. This is a big deal. This is the first government or city basically taking the step of putting Bitcoin on their reserves. If you read down the article, this part I thought was absolutely incredible. Beyond just efforts for the city, Mayor Francis is also reaching out and learning from other states and jurisdictions and making efforts to bring Wyoming-style laws on Bitcoin to Florida, having reached out to Caitlin Long of Wyoming, speaking with Florida CFO Jimmy Patronis about bringing a bill in the state legislature that would bring Wyoming-style Bitcoin regulations to Florida. Phil, this is massive. This is massive. Bitcoiners have been speculating that this was going to come around, that we already see public companies. We didn't think it was going to come this quickly, to be honest with you, okay? We see public companies that are putting their reserves into Bitcoin. Now you're seeing signals because he still hasn't pulled the trigger, okay? We know this isn't just noise. This is an article by Forbes. This was an interview, so we know this is the real deal. We know that pump. We know that The mayor of Miami has also been meeting with a lot of Bitcoiners. He met with Pomp. He met with the Bitcoin conference people, and the Bitcoin conference, like we reported yesterday, announced that they are moving to Miami. So, man, a lot of things are happening in the background of Miami. This is absolutely bullish. Shout out to my hometown. This is awesome. So super cool, man. It gets me so excited. What are your thoughts, Phil? Calm me down a little bit.
Oh man, I can't calm you down on that. That's awesome. I mean, look, the fact that a city is willing to take that step, right, means that they've dug into this. And also, I just want to add that they're going to be hosting Bitcoin 2021. Right? Miami has, I believe that the venue's been moved over to that. So, there you go. Like they're excited to go and host a Bitcoin only conference, and they're excited to start looking into actually owning and holding Bitcoin. And look, I think it's just the first city. I think that when, look, it's the same thing when MicroStrategy first announced that he was buying Bitcoin, like Michael Saylor, everyone was just like, okay, whatever, loser. And then all of a sudden, right, Bitcoin does what it does. And it moved up. And now all of a sudden, so now he doesn't look like such an idiot anymore. Right? Okay. So it's the same thing with this guy. He's going to come in. I'm sure there's people sitting there snickering in the background, and they're like, okay, this is stupid. Okay. And then what happens when all of a sudden, the city of Miami all of a sudden makes a crazy surplus because of this? Or the fact that they simply can't have their funds seized or frozen or anything because of the current shitty system. Not to say that it would happen, but who's to say it wouldn't? Not trying to be hyperbolic, but I'm just saying, like, it's random things like that happen, like we are putting our trust in a third-party system that really doesn't care.
Yeah, and it has a reputation of acting badly, right? So it's not even like these guys are saints. No, the current financial system is rampant with fraud, and you can get away with it if you have a banking license, right? So that's the magic key, right? But yeah, you're absolutely right, Phil. The incentives of Bitcoin are so strong that if it goes well for Miami, and we think it will, other politicians in other states are going to have no choice but to get some exposure to the orange pill, to orange coin. Absolutely bullish. Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right, let's take a look at what we've got. All right, guys, it looks like Bisq version 1.5.5 was released, and that is down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. We hope you enjoyed it. If you really liked it, smash that like button. It really helps our channel. It helps the engagement, which tells the YouTube algorithm that we're cool. So it would be much appreciated. And of course, if you love the video, subscribe. And of course, we will see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.